how would you go about, educating the people around us, if you will, without being, because this topic can be very controversial, and you want to understand what both sides of what it is. I don't disagree that there needs to be some reform and that we need to just have this open discussion, but some people that are so far off to understand that they of what truly is the property tax and how it is, how would we go about as local leaders to talk to our local individuals or educate them?
First one is I've seen a lot more just community forums or community open houses, for example, to come into the fire station or police station, kind of talk with members. I've seen a lot more kind of like coffee with cops and different things, just getting people out. I think most people don't realize the cost of a fire truck or an ambulance, for example, how everything stacks up. Especially my generation, I think we want to see where our money is actually going. We want a direct impact of what I'm actually paying. And that helps to at least demystify some of the frustration and some of the like the government just taking my money and they're spending it, I don't know how. Um, but then paired with that, when you're doing the actual outreach and you're just kind of purely educating, not trying to convince, not trying to, because people can see through that. When you're doing the education outreach, again, the best defense is the right offense. And I think that whether it's a fire department or police department or the parks or any of our local services, we have to look at what we're actually spending and how we're providing that service and operating and making changes. We have the money for the equipment, but we can't actually afford to run it. And it's a very uncomfortable conversation. But I do say the C word a lot in terms of consolidating those services and what that looks like. And I think more and more entities are open to that because there's just pure fiscal realities
Mhm.
that we cannot continue as we've been doing. And I think showing the voters and the taxpayers that we're willing to make those changes and not just keep going back to them on their property to pay more and more and more, that I think is part two of how that's not coming from us.